And welcome back to another episode of JP and the Beans Talk.
Oh, we're here, and the energy is tremendous in the gym.
Even if I did fumble over my words, just a little.
No, you made it sound so natural. I
stumbled
loved the variety of intonation. Good for you.
Picked it back up.
You did. You picked it right back
A
up.
phrase I've said for over 120 episodes.
Hey, you know what? Happy almost 4th, Beans. Happy 250th, America. Looks really good on you.
Go tip some tea into some harbors, ladies and gentlemen.
I've never wanted to throw tea into water more. And not to drink it, but just to get the emotional satisfaction of chucking it straight into a large body of water.
We can all agree tea sucks.
It really does.
Tea is awful.
It's objectively quite poor. Like, I've very few times in my life wanted tea, and it's always been when I've had like a cold, and even then it's just like there's got to be something better, right?
I'll tell you, mine is usually a raspberry iced tea Arizona can, and it's very rare that I pull it out.
Yep.
But when I do, it does hit the spot. I'll give it that.
Well, the best thing tea can do is be part of lemonade.
That's true.
And turn yourself into an Arnold Palmer.
Also good.
Because that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Outside of that, though, on its own, awful, terrible.
Just thinking of like the Ted Lasso episode where he's being so.
That is a running gag.
Yep. Just tea's just bad.
He tries it multiple times to his credit.
It's
and he's
just,
like, nope, this is bad. This is awful.
This is bad, terrible.
This is hot poo water.
All the time, as it turns out. Well,
Yes.
we're not drinking tea here.
Never.
We got ourselves our chocolate milk. We got lemonade.
Straight up Mountain Dew,
We're
baby.
adults. Let's go. So it's pumped. It's pumped. Interesting. We're pumped. It's exciting. And on today's episode, let's get into what we're going to cover. The news and notes. Hello, Spider-Man Brand New Day. Those rascals, they dropped a trailer right after we dropped the podcast episode, Beans. So we're going to circle all the way back and talk about what we saw in this latest edition of the Spider-Man Brand New Day marketing campaign. We're going to hit on Supergirl. We're fresh off of seeing it this weekend. All right, let's get into it. And then, of course, we will tie things off with another classic JP and the Beans Top 5. So we're in the thick of summer. It's great. Before we dive into Supergirl, let's hit Spider-Man. Brand New Day.
Let's do it.
Beans, there's a good 2 minute, 20-second
Arguably
trailer.
better than the first trailer.
No question. Hello, Hulk. Hello again, Frank. But Hulk was the big, ooh, that's new to this particular trailer. What was your overall takeaway here, Beans?
Well, we're getting the story.
How about that?
Spider-Man's fighting against himself and some unknown big bad.
Yeah, we're going to circle back to that.
So, a lot of bad guys, including Scorpion, who, by the way, looks great.
He does look terrific.
Give him
He
his
really
helmet,
does.
though. I get that what you have to do. All right, I get it.
The actors want to be seen.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Image problems.
I know.
Anyways.
They're insecure.
But put a helmet on.
Yeah.
Or something. You can do something cool for that. But outside of that, everything else looks fantastic. So I can't wait to see him fully on screen.
Have you ever thought about how, like, in the original Tobey Spider-Man movies, every single one of them in the climactic fight, he was either completely without his mask or the vast majority of his mask was missing, like in the first movie where most of it had been shredded so you could see the face. Second one completely gone, third one completely gone.
What I did appreciate, though, about all that, they made it work for the situation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But
by the third time, I'm like, okay.
That's fair. I don't really remember the third movie, and for valid reason, I think I've
that's okay.
Men in Blacked myself
There you go.
on that one.
Smart.
But the first movie, he got his ass handed to him by Green Goblin. So I'm like, you know what?
Took a pumpkin bomb
to the face,
right about a few inches here from the old dome piece.
Luckily for him, he could still hear.
How about that?
But
shocking.
You have that. Number 2, he takes the mask off to get Otto back.
Yep.
So they made it make sense at least.
That's true.
It wasn't
That's
just
true.
for the sake of taking the mask off.
for the sake of seeing Toby.
Like Scorpion. Like, dude, you're a criminal. Do you not want to hide your face a little bit?
Your entire rest of your body covered in extraordinary armor and appendages, but the face we're just going to leave uncovered. Huh.
Like Michael Keaton at least wore the helmet for a little while.
Yeah.
Mysterio had all the graphics to cover his face.
Yep.
And, and No Way Home's its own special thing. But outside of that, right? So I'm like, dude, put your helmet on. I want to see it. I want to see you full cloaked out. But we really haven't seen any other villains outside of the hand and
little,
scorpion.
Yeah, a little boomerang tease in there, which was...
And a tarantula tease.
Yeah, tarantula tease, right.
But, like,
right.
There's no Tombstone yet. Tombstone's confirmed to be in this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they've been extremely disciplined to this point with whoever or whatever the big bad is. I mean, Jean Grey has been the prevailing theory for many moons.
I'm shutting that down, though.
You think that's an absolute no-go? You think it's an absolute non-starter?
I'm not saying that Sadie Sink couldn't be Jean Grey, because, let's be honest, redhead, that right age frame for a reboot of the X-Men
fits the profile.
That's a layup. Yeah. Okay, I totally get that. There is something about this power set, right, where I'm like, are we... It just seems off and weird to me. So I understand, like, the mind control, and it looked like in that one we had a nice little, like, time pause, which flashback to the Professor X days of the X-Men, where he did that a couple of times, where he just paused an entire museum for whatever reason.
Heck of a move.
Power move.
What do you do if you just walk into the museum at that point, right? You're off the street.
I'm going to get right to it. I'd shit my pants.
The pants need to be changed at that point.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. Good note.
Yeah, so I walk right back out.
Yeah, but to your point, the power set isn't clearly lending itself to any one individual or character. Right. There's a lot of options on the table. I told you it felt a little Venom-esque, this most recent trailer, just with, and to be more precise, symbiote-esque, right? With the ability to pop between individuals, the mind control piece, like that's symbiote. It's not on the nose, not one-to-one, but it's adjacent.
I think why it's not Jean Grey is the point that you made right there.
Yeah.
They make a very strong emphasis of it. Instead of mind control, it almost feels like body hopping.
Yeah, right.
Because even at that one point with the Hulk turning into the Hulk, that character is talking through Bruce Banner.
Sure.
Fully talking through Bruce Banner, right?
Right.
And Bruce
character whose back is to us. Bruce is hulking out.
Yes.
Yep.
A guy who already has problems with people being in his head, right? So
tough to kind of compound that, isn't it?
Yes. And with Jean and with Professor X and all these other telekinetic, telepathic characters, there's never that, right? Outside of like Cassandra Nova, who has to put her face in your face, or her hand in your face, which
there's a
horrifying
memory,
right? But like Professor X and Jean, all they need to do is read the minds. Like it's a very specific. If you're watching that trailer, it's a very specific throw from character to character.
Yeah,
right. Even from the ground person to the person in the helicopter, there's a clear pattern here.
Yep.
And I don't have anybody that fits that mold.
Sure.
So I don't know if it's somebody that's new or... I mean, X-Men, a mutant is possible, right?
Yeah, it's certainly a more expansive version of what we saw in the original X-Men movies, because Jean Grey, to a lesser extent, because her powers didn't, I'm thinking of the original X-Men trilogy, didn't fully kind of come into being until the tail end of the second movie, and then at that point, she's really only speaking through Professor Xavier. Professor Xavier at different points has used multiple other characters to speak to another character, but this is still a much more just pronounced, and it feels more body snatchy than it does.
Well, and it feels
communicative and mind control. So I understand the distinction. I just can't quite get my finger on it, because at some points I want to go, ooh, it's a mutant, and then at other points I go symbiote, and then other points I go, I don't know.
Right.
we haven't seen this character yet before.
So I personally, like on the symbiote front, I don't think we're getting that till Secret Wars
I don't think
or
so
Doomsday.
Either. Yeah, I don't think so either.
But I understand where you're coming from.
Yes.
And I think it's a really, really bold move.
Yep.
Especially with how 50-50 it's been with Jean Grey and the Phoenix. It's ballsy at this point to be like, you know what we're going to do with Jean Grey? Mm-hmm. We're going to start her off as a villain.
Sure.
And we're going to see how this goes.
Sure.
Now, maybe she's one of the key factors in helping Spider-Man solve this problem. Mm-hmm. That I could understand and wrap my head around a little bit more.
Yep.
it's ballsy to be like, this is our villain, it's Jean Grey, and then go right into freaking Doomsday with 2 Jean Greys running around, and one's a good guy and one's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Well,
in theory.
If we're getting a Jean Grey.
Yeah, and the other villain or villainous group that we haven't even touched on yet is the Hand, right? Like, they are quite obviously very present here. And is there a scenario where it's a yet to be revealed Hand villain, right? Like, there's some, the Hand loves dabbling in the sorcery. So is there something, this is a very uninspiring explanation, but is it just something that has to do with the Hand using some kind of sorcery to control others and sow chaos and discord? Usually I say that out loud just to more think out loud than anything else. I don't believe that's it. The Hand is almost always a mechanism. Like, there's someone controlling the Hand always. They're essentially like these ninjas for hire, is what they, at least functionally, what they turn into.
And I feel like that's going to be more connected to Frank than anything else.
Sure.
Right? But they've done a good job, because I'm having a really hard time even connecting or pinpointing it to a character from the comics.
Yep.
Because I'm even going off possession. I'm like, I don't have a character
pretty small list
in Marvel right now off the top of my head that's like, oh, I'm gonna go possess a body.
Yep.
I go to Deadman from DC. That's my first pick. Obviously, that's not the pick.
Correct.
But and he's a ghost.
Yep.
He's dead.
Yeah.
So you just,
in the name.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I really don't know.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that reason.
Yep.
But I think if you are in that boat where it's Jean Grey and you're sold on Jean Grey, I think you need to reevaluate what boat you're in, because I think it's a lot smaller of a boat.
You might be disappointed.
You might be thinking you're in a cruise boat and you're in a kayak, brother.
Yep.
You're not gonna do well in the ocean swimming in that or floating in that thing.
Stay in the lake.
Yes.
Stay in the lake. Pond, maybe. Okay, let's hit on the Hulk. We saw Bruce Banner in the previous trailer. This time we got not just Bruce Banner, but we got the Hulk. He looks great. Looks like actual Hulk. Isn't
he does.
That nice for a change?
I am still so confused about the Hulk timeline.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're back to Savage Hulk, which, again, thank God. All right? I am all for Savage Hulk back.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get much of an explanation other than yes.
But now all of a sudden, because we go from him having it in total, utter control. Zen. I believe that was in She-Hulk. I didn't watch it, so couldn't tell you. Right? But it seemed like he had pretty good control over it. To now his next appearance, he has now lost complete control once again and has a gauntlet to keep himself in check.
You know, when you rely on a highly visible wrist guard, it
might be a
target.
target.
It might just be a little bit of a target. So can't say we're shocked that was quickly compromised.
I really just don't understand why Marvel hasn't just tried to outright buy the rights to the Hulk at this point, because
who knows, man?
Dear God, make a movie or a show or something, because the Hulk has gotten done so dirty. So dirty. Starting in Phase 3, it does not make any logical sense whatsoever. Yeah.
It'd be a nice subplot if we get to see the Hulk flex a little bit, and preferably not just against Spider-Man, right? Like, can he go up against whoever, like, and assist with whoever the bad guys are? That'd be a lot of fun. It's been too long since we've seen real Hulk smash.
Well, he would just
too long
wreck pretty much everybody.
It'd be fun.
Just imagine Scorpion's tail just gone.
I'd love to see it. Yes, and it'd be great.
Stabbed through the chest with the scorpion tail.
Yeah, it'd be incredible. Speaking of great things and people that are fun to see, our guy Frank, Mr. Castle.
He's going to be so much fun
back
in this.
in it. I agree. How can he not be? He's there to, I think you can already tell he likes Spider-Man. Of course, he's exasperated with him, but this is just Frank being Frank. This is how he treats those that he loves.
Well, I told you off screen, I was like, he's going to be the ultimate hype man for Peter. Also going to throw in just kill the guy randomly, and it's going to be great because Peter's like, Frank, I'm not going to kill the guy. We got to do a different way. Oh, fine, whatever. But I could just kill him. Yes, we get it that you could kill the guy.
Noted. We get it.
Yes, but so I am super excited. Yeah, because that first trailer, you're like, how much of a role are you going to actually have to play? Right. But watching this all the way through, he is going to arguably be the Iron Man of this movie in the sense of like Iron Man and Homecoming, right? I feel like that's his role to play in the not necessarily a mentor figure, but why not the right hand man,
vigilante that the world doesn't seem to care for. You know.
Well, when you put it that way,
I think there's some good meat on that bone. So here's a fun question: do we get Daredevil here? Do we get any Daredevil? How do we not is actually the right question. Hello, Kingpin, Daredevil just had shenanigans ensue. All right, fine. Yeah, you're going to say, oh, he's incarcerated. Spare me. Break him out. Let's go.
Yeah, it's like, it also is, because I've heard the new season of Daredevil is going to be like a year apart from, which,
sure.
Great.
Sure.
Where does this movie play in to the timeline?
Correct.
Because, yes, Matt would be amazing in this.
Yes.
And again, I would rather have him as the mentor figure than the Punisher. No offense, because I like Punisher more.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
like, him and Spidey get along really, really well in the comics.
This makes me genuinely upset that Season 2 concluded in the fashion in which it did, so that we can't have Kingpin, like, in peak full control, and then they all have to battle Kingpin here in this Spider-Man movie.
That would be great.
Right?
It would have been great.
Yes. No, it's fine. Let's just toss Kingpin out on an island somewhere and
damn you, Sony.
Right. And put Matt Murdock in prison. This is cool. This is very cool. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sorry. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy season 3, but
I feel like you have to have him with the hand in there.
I know.
But at the same time,
what are the odds?
I'm not getting my hopes up.
What are the odds that the scene that we keep getting with Peter Parker and the hand is him going to break Matt Murdock out of prison to assist with the hand?
Maybe. But he was also imprisoned during that. So maybe he's imprisoned with Daredevil?
I don't know, man. I'm grasping here.
I know you are.
At spider
and I'm trying to help you.
Yep.
Because one of the key scenes that they always pointed out in the first trailer is when he's jumping out at the hand, and they bring it back to No Way Home, where there's clearly
there's
people
clearly
missing.
Yes.
And I'm like
lizards facing that, just like getting kicked, and by who? Some invisible,
So it's like, is Punisher jumping out a window? Probably, honestly. He's crazy enough.
That'd be great. Go for it. Go.
But yeah, you're like, there's definitely going to be more than one person jumping out on Spidey's side. So I'll be
extremely pleased if it's Daredevil.
Could you just imagine? It's just that whole space is the Hulk.
Also, yes.
That's what they're hiding. But I don't know.
I don't know either.
In a very surprising way, in the league side of things, they have done a great job.
It's been tight.
Like,
it's taken them 4 movies, but they finally got Tom trained up. Like, Tom, you just can't say certain things. You don't have to answer the question fully and transparently.
Like, Andrew and Toby was like one of the worst kept secrets that they were coming back.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
This, I genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
And they've done a great job.
So far, so good. About another month here. Can they hold their water?
I think they can. Yeah. But a lot of questions, which is good. It's going to make this movie thoroughly
we love being surprised,
enjoyable.
Right? It's fun to talk and speculate for sure. But I'm really like, neither of us are of the mindset of, let's actually like solve this riddle and figure it out before it happens.
Not on this pod. Tune into another pod or two, and maybe.
Yeah, those are out there, but it's more fun to speculate and guess.
Do we have a runtime yet?
Oh,
I know I'm putting you on the spot. But
I think it's 2.5 hours. I thought we had that runtime.
You're the runtime guy.
I am the runtime guy. I love my runtime.
The detail-oriented person. I'm just like, it's a movie. How long? Oh, cool. Yay.
Yeah.
2.5
hours is the currently publicized runtime. Now, whether or not it'll truly be that long certainly remains to be seen, but that would certainly be an absolute delight if it's the case. Yeah. Anything else on that trailer front, my man?
No, I think we're good. I think we covered it. We'll talk more in a podcast or 2 podcasts when we make our Spidey predictions.
Oh my gosh. Can you believe that's coming?
Dude, I am over the moon.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for this movie.
Well, let's see. Spider-Man No Way Home. I was just looking. That was 2.5 hours as well. So that'd be in line.
Feels short.
Really?
No, like in like it feels like it was longer than 2.5.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by
No,
it.
I get that.
That seemed too short. But
Yep,
also, when Toby and Andrew come in, it's like a whole different movie.
Correct.
Like there's two. It's a 2-part movie rolled into one. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is the first half.
Yeah, you got like 90 minutes without those guys.
Toby
and,
and
then the
Andrew
last
come
hour,
in, and you're like, oh, this is we're in the third quarter now,
it's
baby.
wild, isn't it? Yeah,
So-
no question. All right. Well, hey, well done, Marvel. Good marketing so far. Maintain that discipline. Don't be giving stuff away. We love it. This is a blast. The only other real is a stretch, news item of note is there is a fresh rumor around the casting of the DCU's Batman.
And like really fresh.
It's fairly fresh. Seems to have some legs, so watch it be proven to be untrue within 48 hours. But one Tom Brittany has been rumored as the pick for the DCU. It's
already annoying. He's gorgeous.
Batman.
It pisses me off.
He does. He looks fantastic.
That jawline
Yep.
is chiseled. I've never seen that guy in anything in my life.
No,
and I'm like,
none
you
of
know
us
what?
None of us have.
Out of all the people to play Bruce Wayne, that might be the most accurate.
Yeah. Yep. And this is just not like an original take for me at all. It is my original take, but it's not original because I say it all the freaking time. And I'll even come back to it in the Supergirl conversation that we're going to have here shortly. But I like the idea of casting someone that we don't know as anything else as of yet, considering that they're going to be in multiple movies, right? Like to know that person primarily as Batman. Like, here's the deal with Christian Bale. He had a fairly well fleshed out filmography before being cast in Batman Begins.
Right.
And most of us that went to see Batman Begins didn't know who Christian Bale was at that point. Handful of folks, okay, sure, but not most. And so that was part of what was so enjoyable is you just get to see him as Batman. It's not like if you were to watch Christian Bale as Batman now, it would be more Christian Bale than Batman. Does that distinction make sense?
Yep.
Yep.
Totally get it.
For me, it's the whole Tom Cruise comparison. Anytime you see Tom Cruise in a movie,
You're like, that's Tom Cruise.
it's just Tom Cruise. Like, what's
Ryan
his
Reynolds.
character's name? Yes, Ryan Reynolds is in that space as well. So,
I would say also Paul Rudd.
jeez.
I could keep going. but
Correct. No, exactly.
There's good character actors.
Exactly.
I would say, see,
So my
Christian,
point is, I don't mind if this were to genuinely be true. It's like, great. Can the guy act? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see with all this. But kind of like with David Cornsweet as Superman, it's like, that's fresh. Great. It's easy for me to see him as Superman.
I do want to clarify, though, Christian Bale is not like Christian Bale when he is acting. He takes on the role.
He's
of
something
who-
else.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
He
That's
is a true actor
Yep.
that gets lost in whatever role he is. So I will say
No
he's
doubt.
very. I don't want to throw him in the group of that with Tom Cruise.
No,
and
I know what you're
Ryan.
saying. Yep.
So,
Yep.
but yes,
Yeah, no question. No question. Okay, so there you go. There's your little rumor nugget piece of news. Is it really news? Not really, unless it proves to be true, in which case you heard it here first. All right.
allegedly.
Allegedly. Hey, Supergirl.
Yeah.
We got to see that
Yes,
just
we
the other
did.
night. That was pretty fun.
It was.
Real quick, let's cover the cast, and then we're going to get into our reactions. So this movie introduces Millie Alcock as Supergirl from Australia. Good eye. I always think of Dumb and Dumber anytime I try and do an Australian accent. It's like, oh, let's put another shrimp on the barbie. Never gets old, at least for me. Eve Ridley as Ruthie. Jason Momoa. Hi, bud. Seems like we've seen you before, but welcome back again.
I was waiting for the trident to come out.
That's right. As Lobo. Matthias Schoenaerts as Krem.
And that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. David Krumholtz as Zor-El. Do you know what I know David Krumholtz from?
Is he not the guy from Santa?
Yes.
Santa
yes,
Claus?
Bernard from
Yes.
the original Santa. Well, not just the original. He's in multiples of the Santa Claus.
He's also he has other roles as well.
he's so many
but
roles.
I was
He's been
putting
in some
that two and
things.
two together. I'm like, he is from the Santa Claus.
Yes,
isn't
he is. Yes, he is. Bernard with a beard. And then Emily Beecham stepping in as Allura Zor-El, Supergirl, Kara Zor-El's mom. Yeah, pretty small, pretty tight cast, but I just wanted to throw those flowers towards those folks. Beans. I'm going to let you go first here. What'd you think about the flick, my man?
I don't think this film is getting enough credit, to be honest with you. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
Is it a bummer? Yes, 100%. Yeah. It's not one that I'm going to be rewatching all the time. Right? It's not
much more of a subdued and somber tone than what we saw a summer ago with Superman.
Yes. So and maybe that's what's throwing people off is it's not this symbol of hope, conquering the bad guy, blah, blah, blah. Like this is I'm getting over my grief in a horrible, horrible way.
Yeah.
To finally getting over it in the end. Right. So maybe people that have gone through similar situations will appreciate this film more than your average viewer per se.
Yeah.
But props to Millie Alcock. I want to see her play Supergirl till the end of time.
Yep.
She was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, totally agree.
I was laughing at how she handles situations, which and this is what we talked about last podcast, right? I wanted her to be different from Clark.
Yep.
And boy, did they nail that.
Yeah.
Like her just even being like, yeah, he's kind of a nerd and I'm not. Like, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Like, even when you're watching David Cornsweet come back and have those interactions with her.
Those were a lot more valuable than I anticipated in advance. Like
but,
that proved to be what you're getting at. It just drew her character out all the more.
But it also just goes to show how good David's Superman is.
Yeah.
Right? That does not work with Henry Cavill's Man of Steel.
Totally agree.
It does not.
Yeah, it can't. It
can't.
Yeah.
So for her to take on this role, she freaking nailed it.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see her in Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm hoping she's in it. I think is she confirmed?
It has to be at this point.
I'm very excited to see what she's going to do because she's going to Supes is going to have to rein her in throughout that movie, and that'll be a lot of fun.
That'll be a delight.
So she was phenomenal in this.
Yep.
I look at Lobo, and we got a good amount of Lobo in this, which I did
kind of more than I thought we would get. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
pretty much. And he was a riot. He was just awesome. And I think what I appreciate the most is it wasn't like a introduction for everybody into Lobo. Like Supergirl knew who he was, and she's like, "Keep your head down. Do not make eye contact. We do not want to talk to that guy. That guy's
trouble."
No. Yes, exactly. I appreciated that as well. Like they're not,
and he didn't know who she was. That was a fun twist, right? Like she hasn't made enough of an individual name for herself to this point in her heavy air quotes career that Lobo's looking at her going, "Oh, Supergirl, just wearing raggedy street clothes." He had no idea who she was.
Also, they also built him up. They pretty much just told his backstory right away. They're like, he killed his entire planet.
Yep, he's immortal, killed his entire planet.
God complex. And you're like, oh.
Yep, pretty quickly established.
Awesome.
Yep.
So and the hook was great. The bike is great.
Too fun.
He looked phenomenal in this movie.
Yep.
So great there. And then the other character I would highlight is the villain. Right?
Krem.
Like, we both knew this was going to be a one-off guy.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm glad that guy sucks. and by the way, this is not
as the highest compliment.
Yes. Like the actor did a phenomenal job of being creepy and gross.
Yeah.
And to the point where you're like, you know what? I don't blame you for killing him. Like this is one of the.
Can he please die?
Yes, it's one of the few villains I've had in a superhero movie, even in the last forever long, where I'm like, yeah, it's okay if he goes bye-bye.
Correct.
It's 100% okay. Correct. So, because the way they built their group or race or whatever, they're like, oh, these guys are awful human beings or awful alien beings, whatever you want to call them. So, he did a phenomenal job as a villain. You wanted him to get his
just
death.
Anybody.
Yes.
Just anybody kill him. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but from that overall perspective, I thought it was really well done. I think the Supergirl origin twist was interesting, right? Like instead of her watching the whole planet die as she's leaving and then getting sucked into a wormhole, and then jumping out, and now Clark is older than her. Yeah, they were just like, let's cut all the confusing stuff. Yep, and
make it a lot more straightforward.
Also, let's make her parents look like super good people, right? I really appreciated the interaction with her mom, where she's like, you don't have to be nice. You don't have to be this. I just want you to be a good person.
Yep.
At the end of the day, I don't care how you do it. Just be a good person.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you're right from there. You're like, you are setting her apart from other characters because how often are we getting the hero that is the nice, like again, Clark Kent.
Right.
He's
symbol of hope.
He's nice guy.
Yeah.
Good guy as well, but a nice guy.
Yep.
She's gonna tell you how it is, even if it sucks to hear.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought it was very interesting that they managed to save one city. At one point, I'm like, is this Kandor? Are they getting bottled up? Are we gonna find them later?
Right.
And
still could
who
be a
knows,
thing.
right?
Yep.
But they did make it clear that it was a different city.
Right.
So I will be very curious because they still didn't even say exactly why the planet blew up. Right? They just said the core was failing. Right. So I'll be curious to see that.
Yeah, fairly opaque explanation as to why.
I also thought it was hilarious that her parents are talking and they're like, oh, there goes Cal. And his parents are going to go make him a conqueror or something.
Right.
And you're like,
right. They just really, there's the knife in the side again.
I'm like, hold on.
Remember that Jor-El's a dick, everybody?
Well, it's just like, hold on. You two are brothers. Yeah. And you're like, oh, but like you're clearly not okay with it, but you've worked together. So I'm like almost curious to see what those two's dynamic was at one point in time because holy crap, does he sound like an asshole?
Right.
Like Jor-El is, if he's talking about world domination on another planet, what? Because he was warning Krypton that it was going to blow up with his brother. Like, so those two are warning that it's going to blow up. But also you have the mindset of turning your son into that logic doesn't
it's like, how do we
make
get
sense
from this point A to that point B? Feels like this is actually point D, and there's a B and C somewhere in there that we haven't fully fleshed out yet.
And maybe that's also going to just be a part of this Superman story is we're getting more fleshed out reasons. Like, you know, Brainiac has been the destroyer of Krypton in the past in some iterations. And obviously they've had other people do it as well. But
I would love to see, this is kind of an aside, but if Bradley Cooper, right, as Jor-El and David Krumholtz as Zor-El are down and are willing, I would be super down as a fan to see more of Krypton's backstory sprinkled in, right, to these next couple of movies where, to your point, we get to see more of that dynamic between those two. Because in my mind, here's how it works. Because I do think, given the ingredients that we have or the evidence we have so far, it's hard to know how these ingredients work together. Here's what I'm assuming is that Jor-El, right, and Zor-El, where they are able to connect is they both want what's best for Krypton. And then where they split is they have two very different ways of going about it.
Right.
Jor-El is going, listen, Krypton is this thousands years old planet, people. We have this legacy. We should rule. We should conquer. The noble thing to do is to go somewhere that we can conquer and be in charge and bring those people out of the dirt and be more like us.
Very Invincible-esque.
Right, and Zor-El's going, what's a bit of a stretch there, bud? I don't quite agree with the methodology. How about we not do that? But yes, let's try and save Krypton. So that's how I could see it playing out. Okay, but I'd love to see it, right? Because I still so much don't like the place that we're in, where it's just Jor-El's a dick. Like that's what we're essentially left with.
Yeah, and I'm at the point too where I don't want a plot twist where he actually was a really good guy.
No.
You know what I mean?
You've established it. You doubled down the Superman movie. You tripled down here in Supergirl. So.
And weirdly, I'm okay with it.
Fine, but just flesh it out some more. Like, okay. Anyway,
and I think they will. I will be very curious to see how Brainiac plays in here in this in Man of Tomorrow.
Yep.
Like I'm very curious because they did not show at all how Krypton blew up.
Correct.
At all yet.
Yeah.
So they did a good job.
They're still holding some cards back there, I think.
And they did a good job of showing Kryptonite as well, being like, oh yeah, this is slowly killing off the people.
Right.
So
that was a nice touch, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so you want to hear something really fun? Okay, no, you keep going. I'm gonna hold on to my little factoid. I'm not gonna lose it.
I think that pretty much just covers it, though. Yeah. Like from that perspective.
Okay.
So you can go. You go ahead.
Phenomenal recap by you. And let me just say right off the rip, I really enjoyed this movie, and I am point for point in agreement with you on on everything that you said, especially as it pertains to the tone of the movie. And I think we circle back to that here in a minute. First, a really fun note on that Supergirl origin, okay? So this movie is heavily drawing from the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow graphic novel that Tom King authored and published only in 2024. So it's very recent, okay? 24 or 23, but here in the last 2 or 3 years, okay? Tom King, for what it's worth, is starting to get more involved, I believe, with the creative process on the DC movie side, which I'm all for it. That guy has put out phenomenal stuff. So Tom King writes in the introduction to the copy of the Woman of Tomorrow graphic novel that I have about how when he turned in the manuscript for the chapter that was ultimately to cover the Supergirl origin, it got returned to him by the editors, and they said, swing and a miss, try again. And he didn't have a Supergirl origin fleshed out in there. The chapter looked and was very different as far as what part of the story is going to cover. So in 24 hours, he bangs out a fleshed out Supergirl origin story that plays out somewhat differently in the movie, but the bones of it are very much the same. And so it's just fascinating. And he talks about, again, in this introduction, how grateful he was for his editors' like pushback, because he's going, you guys, are you serious? I've got like 24 hours to meet this deadline. And they're like, yeah, you can do it, but try again. And how helpful that was to him in his creative process to kind of force this origin story out. Because for me, that was a highlight of the book, and it played as a really strong, just fundamental necessity in this movie, right? To the point where I almost wish, if I could change one thing, I almost wish that they would have taken that origin story and dragged it earlier into the movie. Not by a lot, maybe by 10 minutes. Just get it in there a little bit sooner so we can better understand, okay, what's with the overall just, I don't really give an F kind of approach. What are you really drinking for? How hard can your life really be? Like what? And then when you see it, right? Because it shows it very well. It's the weightiness, the gravity is very real. And so then that's such a key moment, because now you can relate to her character, right? Up to that point, I think it's just tough to go, how do I relate to this character? I'm enjoying her, but how do I relate? And then when you see what she had to go through, it's like, okay, now we've got a place to connect. Yep. So anyway, I just thought that origin of how that origin story came to be was worth pointing out. Totally agree. Millie Alcock was great, was fantastic. And I'm most excited coming out of this movie that I think she got firmly established. Hopefully she's able to gain some real confidence from this, because I think she did a phenomenal job with the role. It would have been very easy for her to fall into any number of ditches where she's unlikable because of how just laissez-faire she is. She doesn't care about Ruthie. She doesn't care about anybody. Like, she's only caring about her dog. And I'm not saying don't care about the dog, but she's a very self-centered character when we first meet her, right? And it didn't fall into the ditch of, man, I just don't give a rip about you. So she kept it out of that ditch, and she didn't overcorrect, right? Like, the change that she went through as a character felt genuine.
And earned.
Felt earned. Felt very much earned is a great word for it, rather than just being told, oh, you're different. It was shown. It was demonstrated. So Millie Alcock was tremendous. And this is a small cast. Like, there's not a lot of folks getting screen time other than her. And at no point did I get tired of seeing her on the screen. So I thought it was outstanding on her part in particular. I'd love to see, and looking forward to seeing more of her.
Well, it's the complete opposite of Captain Marvel, right? And I keep bringing that up,
but it's a good comparison. It's a good comparison.
That's Marvel's first female-led superhero movie, correct?
Right. Correct.
So you have that, and I'm going off of the DCUs now, and I'm like, Supergirl is 100 times better.
It was much better.
We get so much more character depth and emotion from her than we do from Captain Marvel.
Yeah, feels like there are some lessons both learned and applied.
Oh, 100%.
Because it could have very easily fallen into a same or similar ditch. And again, that wasn't on Brie Larson. It's just that was all that Brie Larson was given to do. It's like, come on, Brie Larson's a stud. Like, give her more to do here, and she'll crush it.
And that's not a shot at her either.
That's exactly right.
It was just
it was
a
poorly
weird
written.
thing.
Yeah, poorly written. Jason Momoa's Lobo is a blast. And so it's fun to have him in the fold. Is it ridiculous that he was just Aquaman? Of course it is. Objectively, it's silly. And I don't care.
Not a hard adjustment, though.
No.
It's not like for me to be
no,
like...
No, it's not. No, it's not.
And I don't think the average person can be like, but he's Aquaman.
Correct.
Not anymore.
No, we're okay.
Guess what?
We're going to be just
He
fine.
should have always been Lobo.
It's exactly right. That's what it always should have been. Yeah, Krem, they redesigned him pretty hard for this movie. Not in his actions. Like, he's a ruthless killer in the book as well. But he goes from looking like a fairly normal dude in the book to they gave him the full villain come up, right? With the various body piercings and just the mannerisms that were bordering on the gross, but effectively gross. So just like you, it's like, I really hope he dies at the end, because no mas, please, no mas. But he was effective. I think one of the movie tried, I think where it really struggled for me the most is it couldn't quite determine what its identity was with the tone. Like, it felt like it was trying really hard to do the Guardians of the Galaxy thing for the first like 2/3 with just needle drops of music that's synced up with action. It's it just didn't quite. It wasn't bad at any point, but it's like we're just off a little bit. And then when it worked, for me, where it worked was the very last fight scene. Oh gosh, I'm blanking on the song name now, but it's kind of the slow-mo, The Middle by Jimmy Eats World. That was sweet. I love that version of that song. I love that, how it actually synced up with the action. And we got to see Supergirl doing her thing. But up to that point, like, this is just we're missing just a touch here.
It's
just
funny because I had a very different
Did you really?
reaction. And,
okay.
And it's not that it was bad.
Yeah.
But like,
was it too on the nose for you?
Well, so first of all,
because it was not subtle.
First of all, great fight scene. Okay, yeah. I loved watching, especially like to start it off where she's just ragdolling Krem, like awesome.
That was great.
I think it was like almost jarring that we get to the song and it's a acoustic version of that song. Yeah. And it's like, wait, hold on a minute. Yeah. We're having a fight scene and we're getting the acoustic version of this and we're slowing, like, again, the fight scene works. Yeah. I don't know if that's the song choice I would have personally made. Yep. Because again, it's just, if it's original and you pace it up a little bit, okay, maybe I'm down and I'm on board. But no, like,
I get that.
I laughed. I audibly laughed in the movie theater when I heard the song because it was like, hey. Yep. Right, I'm like, hold on. This is the song?
This is what we're doing?
Why are we doing acoustic?
That's so great. I'm glad that you had such a different reaction to that than I did.
And again,
but I think that's part of where this movie labors a bit, is that it comes back to my point of it just couldn't quite figure out what tone it wanted to have consistently. It just tried a lot of different things, and it didn't feel like it had a consistent, strong identity that it could really just hone in on.
Right.
So at different times it worked. At other times it's a little off. This is a good movie. At bare minimum, it kind of exists in and I do think it's higher than this, okay? But the original, like, Thor movie, right? It accomplished the mission. You got Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Was it, for Chris's sake, his best performance as Thor? No, it wasn't. But it got him started. It got him established. And then we got to build off of that. This, I think, is objectively a better movie than that one, especially as an origin for the character. But I think it accomplishes a really similar purpose where it gets a new character, new actor filling the role of that character out and in existence and established. And I think we're going to reap the benefits for years to come. Yeah. So that's what I'm most excited for.
And we can get into this at some other point too. I don't want to go too deep down this, but it's very interesting when you look at the MCU start where we're getting a different character, right? This very much feels like instead of the DCU, we're in the Superman U.
No, it is right now.
Because we have Man of Steel.
Yep.
Then we get this doesn't feel like it's its own movie on its own merit. This almost feels like a spin-off. Yeah. Like, the best way I would describe it is the Spider-Man PlayStation games.
Yep.
and then when they release Miles Morales.
There you go.
Right?
Yep.
Because Miles plays a part in the first one.
Yeah.
Right? But then it's like, okay, you can play this game and have a lot of fun. It's not going to be super integral to the main story, right? It just is to flesh out Miles
is not,
as a character.
It's not a disrespectful. I think it's just an accurate summation of where this movie kind of exists in the current universe.
And I did appreciate, because this is actually what surprised me the most.
Yeah.
David Cornsweet's Superman was actually more present in this movie than I thought he would be.
Same.
But not in a way where he took over.
That is correct.
It was in a way where it's like, this is her tie to her family.
Yeah.
And he's really trying hard to bring her in.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you get to the end of the movie, she finally accepts that spot.
Yeah.
And you can see Clark has been just trying to
give her the space.
Right. And also just like he's wanted his family.
Yeah.
Like somebody he's actually blood related to be a part of his life. And
and how meaningful that is for him too, right? Yeah.
So
I agree.
Not
that was
bloodthirsty killer either.
Right.
Or conqueror, right?
Right. You're not Zod. This is great. It was a very pleasant surprise. And you said it really well. He didn't take over. It didn't turn into a Superman movie. It was still a Supergirl story, still a Supergirl movie. And so that was one of the best things the movie did, was tie those two characters together and even deepen the connection between the two of them without a lot of time from Superman. But it helped flesh out what it was like for Kara to go from Krypton to Earth, right? As a young adult, as opposed to the, blank slate infant that Clark was, from the language barrier to the social barrier to the trauma of losing everybody that you had known. I mean, that's almost an incomparable experience to have. And so it was really well utilized. It wasn't forced. It was done with great care and precision. That was really, really well executed.
So my question for you.
Yep.
And then, because I think this is probably the biggest one we haven't touched on yet.
Yep.
How did you feel about her killing the gay? Because it's definitely for Superman.
For Superman, it's a no. That's a really good question. I think I'm still wrestling with it a little bit. I love it because I wanted Krem to die.
Yep.
Right. And I think it was important that Lobo didn't kill him, because that would have subtracted from it being Supergirl's story and Supergirl's movie. And that's as far as I've really gotten so far. So I don't know where I'm at with it yet. I guess
in the setting that it was done.
Yep.
Where when she tells the little girl, walk that way, don't look back.
Yep.
And she's like,
right.
I'm not going to let you be a like overwhelming presence for her.
Yep, hanging around.
So I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah.
And to me, it felt more like an adult protecting her child rather than
an act of vengeance that she wasn't going to let Ruthie take.
Correct.
Yeah.
And again, it's not like this guy was redeemable.
No.
This guy.
No.
Okay, I totally get it. I think the most impactful part of this is Lobo watching off from the cliff.
Sure.
Because he's like, oh, you have a dark side. Like, that's not something he expected right out of the gate. And I think that could come into play later because, okay, first of all, Jason Momoa's Lobo and Superman, they're going to fight at some point, and it's going to be awesome.
Yes.
I hope they let him rip. But you know for a fact that he's going to have that in his back pocket where Superman's going to be like, we don't kill, and be like, well,
Lobo's like,
you should talk to your cousin about that.
Might just mean you, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, because that'll be
it's a good point. It's a great point.
Different, diverging point for those two.
Yeah.
So I definitely, it wasn't out of anger or like snapping, right? It was that it was she knew what she was doing. Yeah. But totally, she did it for the greater of that entire planet. Yeah. So
I think that's a good way to look at it. One thing that I think I like, and I'm still kind of in the process of processing here. But now that we've seen Superman, now that we've seen Supergirl, has been the overall mechanics of the world they're in, where yes, they are exceptionally powerful metahumans or meta beings, but they're not just OG instantly more powerful than everybody else, right? I have really appreciated that in both the Superman movie and now in the Supergirl movie. It's been tough for them to win. It hasn't been, boom, snap your finger, automatic W. Like, even after she's able to power back up with the yellow sun, she still has a tough time, right, with the brigands. Like, they're still able to get their shots in. They're able to subdue her a second time. Like, I've enjoyed that element so far, and that has been the trickiest thing to handle, whether it be with Superman in the DC, now DCU, or with Hulk, right, in the MCU. It's like, okay, as soon as they're on the screen, you kind of get this expectation of, oh, game over, they're going to win. It's going to be super easy. And so I think so far 2 for 2 at not allowing that power set to just expand to the point where it's like, this is just a layup.
Well, as a guy who is not the biggest Superman fan, to go into this movie and Superman last year, I have gained a tremendous amount of respect for this character, Superman, and a main part of it is because of that, right? Superman, before these movies, has always been presented as a borderline god,
correct,
who is allergic to a rock. And in this, what I appreciated in this movie specifically, we got a green sun that apparently that's like kryptonite radiation, which never heard of that before. So now, which it also plays into the kryptonite rocks too, right? Like, it's like, oh, okay. So we knew the red sun already would take away powers. The yellow sun gives the powers. Right. Green kills you. So it's like, so now we have to worry not only about other colored rocks, we now have to worry about other colored suns. Right? Yeah. So for that aspect, I do really appreciate that, because they're finding different ways for them to have weaknesses, because I've never heard of the green sun in the comics being a weakness. I don't know if you have or not.
It was, again, it's Tom King in this particular book.
So specifically there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's, again, very recent. That's why you haven't heard of it.
Right.
Till Tom King did it in Woman of Tomorrow, it just wasn't a dynamic.
Right. And then she gets weakened by it is kryptonite, but it is the kryptonite arrow getting shot at her. Yeah. Which, how did you know that was going to happen? But anyways, besides the point, like, I just appreciated the nuance of these weaknesses for them. Yeah. So, because even in Superman, yes, we have kryptonite, but if you think about it, it's Metamorpho producing his own version of kryptonite, right? And then he does his own version of the yellow sun. Yeah. So I've been really appreciating the creativity here when it comes to it. So they are winning me over in the Superman department, which I didn't think could be done personally for me. Yep. But if they continue down this trend, this is going to be a character that I'm already behind him. Yeah. But I'm going to get more behind as we continue to go. Yeah. So it's a good start. We'll touch on real quick just kind of the overall response. Like, the box office numbers haven't been great. You know, the critical response has been what it is. I think the audience response has been, like, not overwhelmingly, I'm going to say thoroughly positive. I liked what you said earlier, and I'm going to circle back to it. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this movie is struggling a little bit in the context of what came before it. Because Superman last year was easy to enjoy, easy to like. It was family friendly. This movie is none of those things in a certain sense, right? It's a somber tone. It's not dissimilar in that respect what we talked about with Civil War a couple weeks ago, right? Where, man, it's a good movie, but boy, it's heavy. It's hard to, like, come away with it going, I liked what I saw there. And I think there's two different movies, but I think there's a similar dynamic going on here. So I think it's a good movie. Again, I'm not championing it as an absolute banger, but I think it is not being rewarded either by the response or whatever box office numbers are. I think it's not quite getting as good as it deserves. Well, I think it's a nice little combination of expectations, right? I think you're going in this hoping it's going to be like the action, like superhero movie of the year, right? So you're not getting there's action, and the action scenes are great, but that's not what's driving this movie, right? So I think expectations, I think, again, we look at a character like Supergirl. This is, to me, this is a really early part to bring her in.
Yeah.
Does this story work for her in this situation? Absolutely. This is a great
but
first
it's
movie
a risk
for her.
to bring her in this soon.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're doing this before
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, before Lanterns, right? Which we are getting, and that'll be great. But we're not really getting a break from the Superman film,
Right.
where we're missing more Superman content.
Yeah.
So
She almost would have been better served as the next movie after. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Or even just have Lanterns come out and
Yeah.
then have Supergirl, where there's this break.
Yep. Agreed.
Because I
Agreed.
think that was a disservice to this movie. I do personally think this is a movie that is going to thrive once it hits streaming. I think
sure.
once you hit HBO,
Yep.
I think this movie is going to get a
Kinda get a
lot
second
more.
life.
Right. I think it's going to get appreciated more for what it actually is.
Yep.
Because, again, I think it's expectations. I think people are going into that being like, I don't want to go watch this movie again.
Yeah.
Right. At least with Superman, you're like, this was fun.
Yeah.
Let's do this again. I'll bring somebody else this time around, and we'll have a good
Exactly.
time. You're not doing this
No,
with
you're
this
not.
movie. This is more
Yeah.
of like,
I can't take my daughter to this movie.
no.
Now, without also introducing trauma.
Yes,
To
absolutely.
her at this particular age.
Right. And
Yeah.
I know you talked about that before going
Yeah.
to this movie. He's like, yeah, I want to watch it first before I bring
Yep.
my kids.
Exactly.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good,
Correct.
great call. Good
this
job,
won't, This
Dad.
won't be a kid's one. Thanks.
So-
Got one. Got one.
Yeah, you won that one. But it's just, it's one of those things where it's like you want to wait for your daughters to get a little older.
Totally.
And have this conversation beforehand.
But here's the thing. I think because of this movie, what we're going to get next with the Supergirl character, we're going to get the best parts of the Supergirl character. Like, she's not going to turn into Clark. That's still not going to be a thing. It's still not what we want.
And we don't want that.
No, we don't. But she's going to be a Kara that we can much more easily connect with and root for and not have to just live in the yuck.
Oh, their dynamic
bit.
is going to be so much fun.
It's going to be a blast.
I am so excited.
So it makes me so hopeful and optimistic for the future. I think it's going to be an absolute treat. And again, Millie Alcock, like, what a sweet find, right? That's so cool for her.
Her and Lex are also going to be a blast
dear.
because
Oh, dear.
he's going to have somebody that's actually going to talk crap back to him, and he's not going to handle it.
No.
He's not going to handle it well at all.
No, he's a one-way street kind of guy. Yeah, he doesn't care for the return fire.
So I am so excited for that. Man of Tomorrow, if anything, you watch this movie, you're like, oh, this movie's going to be even better than the first one.
I know. It's setting up to be that way. I totally agree. Anything else you want to hit on?
No, I think we hit the majority of it. Go give it a watch.
I agree. It's worth a watch.
It is a good
It's a good flick.
one-time watch.
Yep.
And then it'll be like you give it a year, you go watch it again if you want to watch it again.
Yeah, 100%. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, well, without further ado, it is time for another classic JP and the Beans Top 5. Today's Top 5, we are giving you our Top 5 Rogues Galleries in all of comics. I'm looking forward to this.
This is actually tougher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because people, and we'll get into it,
Yeah.
there's always like two that you can go back and forth on,
Yep.
and we probably can guess each other's number ones.
Probably.
But I think we're going to have some surprises. Honestly, the 4 and 5 slots, actually, I would say the 3, 4, 5 slots are going to be
agree.
more fun
Totally
than
agree.
the 1, 2.
I don't disagree a lick. Yep.
So
Without further ado, give us your 5.
my
Beans.
number 5, you're going to be very surprised by this, honestly. And I had to think about it. I have the Flash. I have his Rogues Gallery at number 5.
Good. Yeah, that's
like-
really good.
And for instance, we're talking about the Rogues Galleries. The Rogues. What a fantastic group of villains, first
You know what?
off.
Just make the layup, right?
Right.
What are we? We're the Rogues. Dang it.
And by the way, I love how they have their own code.
Yeah.
They don't kill.
Yeah.
They pretty much just rob.
Yep.
That's what they do. They are like super powered
Mhm.
robbers.
Mhm.
Great. Fantastic.
Yeah.
We look
Straight
at
villains.
the Reverse Flash,
Mhm.
who, in my opinion, probably one of the like dastardliest villains in all of
Pretty
comics.
dastardly. Yeah.
I don't want to mess with the Reverse Flash. I've always found it fascinating that each version of the Flash has their own Reverse Flash that
right.
reflects them as a Flash. Always enjoyed that dynamic.
yeah. Makes it fun.
Godspeed, sick. All right. So, and yes, you have your speedsters, you have your non-speedsters, and then you have a giant gorilla that, for whatever reason, has some mind control capabilities. And
It
that
still blows me away. Like, how did that guy end up in there? How did we get giant gorilla?
I love it.
Yeah.
And by the way, not the first giant gorilla in DC Comics. We also have the Ultra Humanite, which is a completely different thing that we could get into at a different time.
Super troubling.
But Gorilla Grodd, phenomenal.
Yeah.
So based off those like main like group right there,
Captain Boomerang, Mirror Master, like just some like wild, but like weirdly effective villains. Like you hear Mirror Master, you're like, okay, is this the Condiment King? It's like, no. Mirror Master is a phenomenally nasty villain.
Yeah, he can go through the mirror realm,
right,
and go through different mirrors. Okay,
it's all ridiculous sounding, and it works so dang well all the time.
But I also love the nuance of how do we stop a really fast guy? Oh, we just take the friction off of the road, and he's gonna slip and fall, and he can't handle it.
They're clever.
So I got the Flash at number 5.
One of my favorite scenes in comics on behalf of a villain, okay? This is the DC New 52 era, and the essentially the evil Justice League had come to Earth, all right, and taken over, and Captain Cold takes out their version of the Flash.
I do remember this, yeah.
Because the evil version of the Flash is just crap talking to him because he's got him dead to rights, and he's taken his gun away, and then Captain Cold just responds with a voice activation to fire the gun at this Flash's legs, freezes him, kicks him off of him, and he's done. And it's just such a, pardon the pun, cold but amazing move.
Oh,
like,
no,
it's tremendous.
It's badass.
It's freaking tremendous. Yeah. Captain Cold. Ooh, that's really good. Great pull by you. Great number 5. Okay, my number 5 is the Green Lanterns. Okay, their Rogues Gallery is a lot of fun, and it's not nearly as clever and original in terms of what their opponents are doing. Their opponents are a lot of other dudes with lanterns, but it's pretty sweet when you've got an entire corps against you of, let's just read a few of these off real quick, okay? The black rings, death, yikes. The yellow rings, fear, also yikes. The red rings, rage, hello. The orange rings, greed. That's a lot of heavy hitters right there. And you've got Sinestro, you've got the Black Hand, you've got Atrocitus. I mean, the fact that each of these other color spectrums have a ton of power behind their punches is an absolute blast. And at different points, they've all taken the Green Lanterns to task. So for me, it's been a lot of fun reading the Green Lanterns comics and watching the color spectrum kind of grow in the last decade, maybe 15 years now. That's been a really fun change to the Green Lantern world. There's also some other villains in there like Superboy Prime, okay? So Superboy from a different world who quickly turns heel and is just awful, murders a ton of Green Lanterns, and is extraordinarily tough to take down. The Anti-Monitor is always hanging around messing with the Green Lanterns and the Guardians of Oa. So Green Lanterns have just like, their villains are huge and can do a lot of damage.
Fair.
That's my number 5. Okay, my number 4 is Superman's Rogues Gallery. Okay, I think, it's just Lex Luthor, just the bald guy. Not so fast, my friend. Have you heard my good buddy Brainiac? How about Mongol, Vandal Savage, Mr. How the heck do you pronounce his name? Mxyzptlk.
Yep,
that's close enough. Zod and or any Kryptonians, and then, frankly, the worst one of all, Parasite. Freaking Parasite. This is a villain that doesn't get enough run that I would love to see in the Superman movies, especially now that Supergirl's involved, because he is like Superman's worst nightmare. You get close to him, he saps your life force and your powers away and takes them as his own.
Yeah, and there's like 4 iterations for whatever reason, which I always find comical.
And they're almost always disgusting.
He's the Clayface of Superman.
Totally.
But like way cooler.
So Superman has a much more varied Rogues Gallery than you would assume at first blush, because Lex Luthor tends to, serve as the black hole. But there are a lot of opponents in there in a lot of different ways they can come at him. I didn't even mention Doomsday because he's like my least favorite. He's the most straightforward and therefore the least interesting. But all these other villains have gotten the best of Superman on numerous occasions. And there's a weird satisfaction when it's a fifth dimensional imp that takes down Superman. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, so Superman's also my number 4 for pretty much all the reasons that you said. I like the variety that Superman has had over the years. Did you mention Metallo?
No, I forgot about Metallo.
Metallo's a very interesting character, a robot that's ran on kryptonite.
Yep.
We've had a couple different versions of him, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
You have Livewire.
Yep.
You have,
Sure.
who's the siren chick?
I'm blinking. Yeah, sorry.
But pretty much evil Black Canary.
Yep.
But can fly. Banshee, Silver Banshee.
Ooh, good one.
Boom, that's a pull.
That is a pull. Good for you.
Proud of myself. So there is a lot of unique pulls for the Superman realm, and it's even more satisfying to watch them team up against Superman.
Well, there's so many great villains to choose from,
Right.
right? And so with the fact you mentioned it on our previous topic, hey, it feels like we're in a very Superman, Kryptonian heavy part of the DCU right now. Doesn't have to be a bad thing. There's a lot of phenomenal adversaries to choose from that can give Superman and Supergirl a very, very tough time. No question.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Your number 3, sir.
My number 3, this is going to catch me some heat.
Ooh.
So I have Batman at 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's going to get me some heat. Now,
I forgive you. Not really, but I forgive you.
So my
Maybe.
shock pull will be the number 2 spot. Okay. But I have Batman at 3.
Yep.
And first of all, I love Batman's Rogues Gallery. Okay. There's nothing I have against it. I just look
really
at it. And for me personally, there's just not a lot of variety. And that might be a bold take. Okay. But I look at a majority of what he's dealing with, it's a lot of psychopaths. It's a lot of smart.
I'm just Googling new podcast partners.
it's pretty much smart psychopaths for a majority, or it's assassins.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't really get outside of that box. And when it does, it's because he's with the Justice League. Right? I look at, obviously, the Joker is one of the most iconic villains of all time. You have the Riddler, also a psychopath in his own right.
Yep.
Clayface, yes. Clay monster, correct. But
Terrifying.
A, Batman handles him surprisingly really well, and B, psychopath. Killer Croc, same kind of thing as Clayface, kind of your monster-esque, also a psychopath because he's turning into a crocodile. Can't blame the
Turns
guy.
out.
Mad Hatter, crazy
weird,
pull on that part.
really weird.
Also psychotic.
Actually, never want to see him in a movie.
No.
Yeah.
But also psychotic.
Yeah.
Right? Zaz, assassin, serial killer, psycho. So
real neat guy aside from those things.
The only thing that really breaks outside of that box is like Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
Poison Ivy has been brought back down to earth quite a bit in the mental part where she's not as psychotic as she used to be, right? Where she's like, jungle everywhere, right? It's more like, oh, I'm going to pick my spots and I'm going to be a lot more reserved and blah, blah, blah. So for me personally, because there is not a ton of variety, again, I'm going to get massacred for this take.
That's all right.
I have Batman at 3.
Wow, good for you. Way to be original.
I'll be interested to see what you think of my 2.
I'm looking forward to it.
You already know what my 1 is.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This is fun. Listen, I enjoy being surprised. It's fun being surprised. Okay. My number 3 is the X-Men. All right. There are so many phenomenal villains that the X-Men have to go against. All right. Magneto. Yes, I know sometimes he joins them, but he's always the villain that's just occasionally partnering up. Apocalypse, Mr. Sinister, Sentinels. And how about this for the villains? Humanity. Humanity is always against the X-Men. Now, there are obviously, I just listed off several of the key players, but I think one of the core appealing pieces of the X-Men's Rogues Gallery is they never have the greater part of humanity on their side, and they are always striving to try and do what is best, almost always, I should say, striving to do what's best for the collective good, not just for mutants, but also for humans, and yet humans are so just fearful and not appreciative of what it is the X-Men are efforting. So my number 3 is the X-Men. All right. My number 2 is Spider-Man. Okay. For me, Batman's going to end up in my number 1 spot. It's a toss-up between Spider-Man and Batman, and depending on the day, I might say a different one. They have the best rogues galleries in comics. Now, some people, you don't see it that way, which is fine. I'm just going to give you a hard time for it.
No, as you should.
Because it's so much fun.
I literally thought about it. I'm like, you know what? This is going to get some heat.
So
but
great.
It is what it is.
This is so great. But with Spider-Man, you've got Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Sandman, Venom, Kingpin. I'm not going to get into more of them because I want to leave you time to list off many another opponent. But how about the worst luck ever? Like, the man can't catch a break at any point in time. Like, if anybody has earned it, it's Peter Mother-loving Parker. And unfortunately, the things just never stay very good for very long for dear sweet Pedro. So that's my number 2, Spider-Man.
Okay, so my number 2 is the X-Men.
Yeah.
So, and
nice.
You're going to get the trend here. Variety is what does it for me.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep. There's
the
a lot to be
X-Men,
had here.
You did a great job of the humans, right?
Yep.
We have the William Strikers and the what's the whatever his
Trask, the Sentinels guy.
Trask is the Sentinels guy, but what's the because Stryker runs that cult.
Yep.
The human cult.
Yep.
And I can't remember what the name is.
Oh,
but essentially the Purifiers.
Yep.
Yes.
There you go.
So the Purifiers, you have Magneto, who's on the entire side of that
For
spectrum.
Sure. Yep.
With the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, which again, fantastic group of villains. Then you have
Great
Apocalypse.
branding. Purifiers, Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, Reavers, like great branding.
Apocalypse sitting right there up in the middle of where his values and morals is like, I just want the best world possible.
Yeah.
Like the strongest.
Yeah.
So I've always gravitated towards that character as well for villain purposes, not for relatable purposes at all. That's crazy, right? But like you also look at the smaller like villains, right? You didn't address Juggernaut at all.
I know,
Smaller is not the right term, but Mystique in her own right is phenomenally fascinating.
Correct.
Sabretooth against Wolverine will be one of the greatest rivalries
always
forever and ever. I just, for longevity sake, I feel like with the variety, you get a lot more out of that X-Men Rogues Gallery than you do out of anything else. And I think Batman's Rogues Gallery, the problem that they have is they always go back to the same two. They'll switch it up a little bit, and then it's back to the Joker. Switch it up a little bit, back to Bane. And I feel like Bane and Joker have just been played on for too much, where there's just a lack of respect.
I don't disagree with that at all. I don't disagree with that at all.
And the X-Men don't have a problem with that because you know what happens? Because it is like daytime drama TV. You're like, you know what? We've seen Juggernaut be a bad guy for so long. Let's bring it over to the good side. And for shits and giggles, Professor X is now a bad guy. And you're like, okay, whatever. So Beast is now one of the primary villains. We talked about that. So is
it not just more like professional wrestling with the
it really
heel
is.
turns?
It really is.
Yeah. Okay.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
So
wildly entertaining.
Yes.
Wildly entertaining.
X-Men, my number 2.
That's great. Your number 1,
My
sir.
number 1 is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
This is a layup. This is a no-brainer. We have some of the most iconic villains and
so many good ones.
Right. And we go to Batman villains again. This because this is going to be the comparison. It's going to be the Batman Rogues Gallery and the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery, rightfully so, right? Like I feel like his Rogues Gallery has a lot more impact in other ways, right? Where I think with Batman, they always give it to the Joker. Right? It's I'm going to kill Jason Todd.
Sure.
I'm going to shoot Barbara Gordon.
Moments, right?
Right. Yeah. I'm going to try to traumatize the rest of the Robins in some way, shape, or form.
What a neat guy.
Right. You look at Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. Green Goblin, this is the no-brainer, kills his first love. Right off. Like,
tough.
Yes.
Tough.
Awful. Okay. Norman Osborn is a terror in his own right. Doc Ock probably goes on to create arguably the most prominent villain team in all of superhero comics in the Sinister Six. We have
That's fantastic.
We have Kraven the Hunter, who has his own storyline where he pretty much kills Spider-Man, takes over, realizes, oh, this is too hard. I'm gonna let Peter have it back, and then takes his own life. Gnarly, right? So Kingpin, who again is also a Daredevil villain, but wreaks havoc on Parker's life in some way, shape, or form. And they just find a way to always get people that come after him in different ways. The Lizard is one of the most impactful on a relationship level.
Correct.
We go back to Venom, which is probably one of the most iconic storylines of that time as well. So when I go...
all the symbiotes that have come from that.
Right. Carnage, Toxin. I just look at Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. We get a ton of varieties where we have the rich billionaire CEO that goes crazy. We have the mad scientist. We have
you have the
aliens, right? We have some dude from the jungle, and a good majority of it is also people turning into animals because it's Spider-Man, right? We're gonna have a scorpion.
We're gonna have some animal-based villains
and
here.
a lizard and a rhino and a chameleon,
all
right?
these things.
But they all offer different variety in their own rights too.
Yeah.
So I have just always appreciated that from Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. So that's why, for me,
I love that.
It's my number one.
I love that, and I don't disagree that when you put those two, the Batman and the Spider-Man Rogues Galleries, up next to each other, without question, Spider-Man has the more robust variety in there. There is no question. For me, Batman is number one today. Like I said, I could flip-flop on that tomorrow because they're just, for me, the two best Rogues Galleries in comics. What I think sets Batman's Rogues Gallery apart is that they are consistently not just coming at Batman, the physical Batman, right? They're coming at his soul on a regular basis. They don't need, and they know this, they don't need to physically beat him in order to defeat him. Often what they are going for, what they're trying to do is to push him to compromise because he's got his one rule. And so if they can get him to break his one rule, or if they can get him to break his will, it's almost as often a battle of wills as it is a battle of physical mano-a-mano. And that, for me, is really unique and endlessly enjoyable. Now, I also don't disagree. Way too much, especially of late, have the comics leaned into the Joker and then leaned into Bane, one or the other. One thing I appreciated a lot about Scott Snyder's run during the New 52 is he gave the Riddler some wonderful, wonderful things to do against Batman in that run. That was glorious. Scott Snyder also then leaned right back into the Joker again. But he also created the Court of Owls, which was a fantastic new addition to the group. Helped the Bat family get fleshed out because Batman, turns out, needs help when all these baddies are coming on him at once. So I love the variety in Batman, but what does it for me is they're constantly coming at the soul of who he is. They don't need to just beat him physically. That'd be nice, but what they really want is to crush what he symbolizes. And that, for me, is what sets them apart as the number one.
Yeah, it also makes me think of the movies too. It's like we always are going through the same pool of characters where it's like his Rogues Gallery is so deep.
Huge.
So deep.
Huge.
Where we make the argument with Spider-Man too, where it's like, I love Green Goblin.
Yep.
We don't need Green Goblin.
We don't need him every time.
No.
Nope, we don't.
So.
We don't. There's more to those characters than just those particular villains.
Agreed.
Beans, appreciate you. Great job.
Yeah.
Great job. That was a blast.
Yeah. I told you. I told you out the gate. I'm like, there's going to be a plot twist in there that you're...
Oh, that was fun.
But
were you surprised that neither of us had Daredevil in there? I kind of went back and forth a little bit on that one.
No. It's fine. The camera died. We're almost over. So
done.
This will be fun for the rest of it. But Daredevil is what you said?
Yeah. I just couldn't quite get there for Daredevil. Couldn't quite get him in my top
he
5.
doesn't...
It's just a small group.
Well, it's one of those things, and I listened to Rob Liefeld talk about Deadpool. One of Deadpool's biggest weaknesses is the Rogues Gallery is not that large.
Correct.
Deadpool essentially doesn't have a Rogues Gallery.
Yeah.
So
He's
I've thought about
from others.
Right. Daredevil, it's Kingpin, Elektra, the Hand. Sometimes the
Bullseye.
Punisher, Bullseye. Yeah. So nope,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
It's a small group.
So
no, that's good. That was a fun exercise. What a delight that was. Anything else for the good people, Beans?
Nope. Just make sure you put a camera in a very cold room. It's hotter than hot out right now. We are in extreme heat warning, and we are in the upper room of a 2-story building right now.
Heat rises, it turns out.
Yes. We have the door open, and I'm sweating. So if that puts that into perspective. So I got nothing else. Are you good?
That was a delight.
On
Great
that
job.
note, Godspeed.
Peace.